What up, guys? It's Jackie. I am back. Sorry for the hiatus. I've been feeling under the weather and being busy and just all around procrastinating and not wanting to do a video. So it took me a while, but I'm here now. I wanted to go ahead and put together a video about trans terminology because I'm going to be talking a lot about trans things and I want you guys to know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to start with transgender. What does transgender mean? The most basic way I can describe that, or define that, is by saying a person who is transgender. Transgender is an adjective. Let me start with that. Transgender is an adjective. Okay, don't use it as a noun. Don't say like that transgender. You know, you can say that transgender woman or that transgender man or that transgender person, but don't use transgender as a noun. Thank you. It simply means, it simply describes a person who does not identify with the gender they were assigned at birth. On the flip side of that, you'll hear me say cisgender or cis probably a lot. And that's just someone who doesn't identify as the gender they were assigned at birth. Another thing you'll hear a lot in the trans community is the acronyms M to F or F to M, which in my opinion are a little outdated, but people still use them a lot. They literally mean male to female or female to male. So they describe a trans person's journey, essentially. But we have to keep in mind that, we're keeping in mind probably, or at least I'm keeping in mind, that gender is not a binary thing. So we can't rely on only two genders to describe all trans people's experiences. So they're more commonly you're seeing people use the terms AMAB or AFAB, which I'm just saying out loud. Honestly, they're acronyms, which literally mean assigned male at birth and or assigned female at birth, which is essentially saying, yo, when I popped out of my mama, this is what the doctor said I was. So that's who I used to be, but I'm transitioning to become whatever other gender I'm transitioning to be, you know? So it's not as black and white as I'm transitioning from this gender to this other gender, but I'm transitioning from this gender to whatever other gender I'm transitioning to become, you know? A lot more inclusive. I breathed in a cat hair. Moving on. Probably hear me talk about passing a lot, which I just referenced in my last video. So I kind of already gave you a definition, but essentially passing is when if a trans person passes, they are perceived as a cis person in society, generally. And then going in with passing, you'll hear, it's more of a slang term, but you'll hear trans people talk about getting clocked or being clocked. That's essentially when a member of society like looks at you and like knows you're trans, you know? So a common scenario is I'm being myself in a public space, and this person over there is watching me. I'll probably think to myself, are they clocking me or have they clocked me? In which case they would, put two and two together and like figure out that person over there is trans. So that's more of a slang term, but you'll probably hear me say it, especially if I'm talking about passing or if I'm talking just about my struggles with being trans in public. And then going in with passing, there's a couple other things. If you're pre-surgery, especially, and even if you're pre-hormone therapy, there are a couple different things that trans people can do in order to pass better. And that would be tucking, binding, and packing. Now, tucking is the only one of those three that applies to me. Packing and binding are generally for people who are assigned female at birth. Tucking is for people like me who are assigned male at birth. Essentially, without getting too far into it, tucking is where, you take your genitalia and you literally tuck it so that you have the appearance of a flat front. Packing is the exact opposite, where there are things called packers, which look like they're essentially prosthetics that you can put into your underwear that make you look like you have genitalia that is more protruding. Binding is where essentially with people who have breasts essentially would use a binder, which is it looks like an undershirt a little bit, but you put that on and essentially it compresses to make it look like you have a flat chest. And honestly, I think that's like all of the trans terminology that I have for you guys. If that was a little confusing, sorry. If it was too confusing, let me know in the comments and I'll see if I can, make it less confusing. I don't know. Feel free to check out what I'm doing with my life. My co-op is, I wouldn't say in full swing, but it's like we got the train on the tracks and we are chugging along. You can check us out at magiccollaborative.wixsite.com. If I am tech savvy enough when I'm editing this, I'll figure out how to put a link probably up there. Otherwise, I'll put a link in the description box. We have an Instagram account set up and we have a website, and I'm working on a Facebook page. Don't really know if I'm going to get that put together. I feel like Instagram and a website are enough, but we'll see. You can check out, we've done 2 chalk drawings so far. We're going to do another one this week. Our plan is to do at least one every week in the Cincinnati area. So keep your eyes peeled for that. On a more personal note, well, not really personal, but just me, not with my 2 friends who are in the collective with me. I just recorded a cover of a song that I love and I put it on my SoundCloud. So if you want to hear that and listen to this bench singing, then you can go check that out. I will put a link either up here or in the description box. If I'm tech savvy enough, everything will appear somewhere up here. But I don't trust myself to be tech savvy, so disclaimer, probably all the links are going to be in the description box. Otherwise, leave me a comment and tell me what's up with your life. I don't know. I've heard from a couple different people who've watched my videos so far that they're enjoying them at least a little bit, or that it's helping educate, which is the plan. That's like my whole goal for this. So let me know how I'm doing. Well, I think that's it. So I'm peacing out of this joint. I'll talk to you guys. I'll be here. Stay cool. Yeah, don't eat your own hair. It's not very good. It tastes bad. Peace out, guys. I'll see you next time.